Hey everybody, your career engineer right here. Look, today we're going to talk about some Q&A. You guys have sent me emails over the holidays and even before then and questions. So I want to answer them for this month so that you can get your career, your life, your business in gear. So don't go anywhere. We're coming right back. Ask the career engineer, ask your questions live, and I'm going to give you some answers. Give me 15 minutes, maybe 30, depending on your questions. And we're going to go do this. Like, check this out. Like, we're going to do this like right now. Hey guys, yeah, I'm back. Listen, career engineer. So yeah, you sent me some really good questions, and what we're doing now to just try to be good stewards of our time, all of our times, right, is to try to take your questions and answer them here. So I've got some on banner. However, if you are watching live and you're tuning in live right now as I'm doing this, or even those of you who catch us on replay, put your questions in the comment on whichever platform you're enjoying this on, and I'll answer them, and I'll get to them as soon as I can answer the questions. It's important for me that I give folk what they need, like the first, the beginning of the year, of the month, so I can answer some questions. So here's what's really interesting. A lot of folks were really focused on resumes, which is not uncommon for this time of the month here in January because, it's winter. We just got through the holidays. Folks think things aren't moving. It's cold outside or what have you. And let me go ahead and get that piece of paper straight, or let me dust it off, right? Dust off all my career stuff and start getting ready for what will happen in about 90 days. So, and that's what we're going to hit. A lot of the questions were about that. But before I get there, make sure you subscribe to our newsletter. We have some terrific newsletters that's going to give you updates when we're having upcoming events. We're doing some online and offline events this year. We're taking things up a notch, keeping it safe, but we're taking things up a notch. So you can join any of our newsletters, particularly our career and business weekly that we share stuff on. Catch me on Thursdays radio. We have a show where you can call in live. It's 15 minutes, or listen to the replay. So make sure you get connected to us. And like I said, we will have your comments and your questions right here live, but I'm going to take the ones who sent things to me over the weeks or so. So let's go. Let's get into it. So as we shared, it seemed like everyone's mind was focused on resumes. I was like, this whole thing with resumes, because I know I've heard from you sending things off, nothing's happening. I've got 12 different ones. 3 pages, 1 page, fonts, even the aesthetics of it, what works, and I'm changing careers. What's the best way to do this? Do I stick with what I know? All kinds of questions. So I definitely want to hit it. But I won't be your career engineer if I don't deal in what I call the elephant in the room. So one thing I thought was really interesting about when you guys brought me your questions was the elephant in the room over someone that happens to be at a job and in a very national spotlight. You guys hear the news, right? And the person had a resume and it seems like nothing on it was the truth. So, let me hit the elephant in the room. Never lie on your resume. Don't embellish, don't lie, don't put falsehoods on anything. On anything, never. In the world you and I live in, if you got hired at a company or agency or government, and they continue to do their fact checking or their reference checks or their background checks, because sometimes those things aren't quite done, when you have your first day of hire. So you're literally lying. Please understand, in the world of Google here, people can find you out. Now, in the real world, you will be terminated. In fact, you'll find that a lot of jobs are doing offers, no saying pending background check, like we're extending you this conditional offer, right? Because we've got to still do some fact finding. So if someone said it's okay to lie on your resume, I'm telling you it's not. All right. So let's not do that. So anyway, I need to hit that elephant in the room because I know I have to blog on this situation carefully, I think, but don't lie. Embellish, don't lie. It doesn't make any sense. So hope you receive that the right way. So let me get back to our tips and tricks. And again, if you're watching us live, feel free to share where you're watching from. If you want to network, meaning You got a website, you have a LinkedIn URL, you want to say who you are. I'll give you a shout out as I'm talking here. And of course, I'd like to bring out any questions and things that I can. And look, we got Sister Carla. What's up, Carla? Girl, it's been great to see you. Never ever lie. Come on, Carla. Let's have the church right here. It will follow you wherever you go. Yeah, reputation is everything, isn't it? And I'm baffled that a particular person did that, right? So let's jump to some of the tricks and some of the questions you guys asked. And there was a lot of them, but I'm trying to put them all, encapsulate them for the short time we're here together. And if you do have a question, let me know. So someone asked me purpose of the resume, and still, even as long as I've been doing this, and let me preface this, things evolve. How you did your resume 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, it grows. It's these things, your job search tangibles are a growing, evolving thing. So I'm big on legacy, but I also understand being relevant. So I'm going to always say relevancy. It's supposed to get you a call or a meeting or an email for someone to meet you in person, to meet you on Zoom, to meet you on Teams, whatever it is. That's what it's supposed to do. So you really don't have a lot of time, right? So I think the old days we said, the what we call it, the concentration time we all have online is 8 seconds. I hope it's not lower than that now, because 8 seconds really isn't a lot. So you don't have a lot of time to wow. So you really have to make sure your content is relevant to what you're going to do. Notice I'm using that word intentionally, relevant to what you want to do. And it's clean and it's crisp and it looks good. So what? That someone can call you. I've had resumes where I looked at them and I was like, well, wow, I might want to know more. And there was, the email wasn't good. There was a typo. Actually had names misspelled. Phone number was changed or didn't work, or, things of that nature. Maybe it was just a misspelling, but I couldn't reach out. I wanted to see the LinkedIn URL, and I clicked, and it went to 404 area code. 404 area code, 404 era code. So that's not good. So, but anyway, you want to make sure that whatever you're going to put in this document, which is to get you a meeting, that's what's supposed to do. It is a marketing tool. So back to that elephant in the room moment, the elephant in the room moment, right? The guy that went to do that. Look at what he's marketing. Look at what he's sharing. Some similar to what Carla said earlier. He's marketing, I'm a liar. He's marketing, don't trust me. He's marketing, I have no integrity whatsoever. Please hire me. Unfortunately, he got the job and got sworn in. I mean, it was only in this universe where that happened. But for the rest of us, it's a marketing tool. It is your first work sample. That's why I'm very anal about resumes a bit. I mean, this is your best thing that you're going to send out to someone before they meet you. So, I mean, it's to the business owners. You guys have business cards, and sometimes I see jacked up business cards. I'm thinking, how much time did you really put into this? Not much. So I'm going to do business with you. Not much. So this resume is your brochure. So please invest some time into it, and not just you looking at it. Get your friends or someone who's going to give you some really good responses, not just, oh yes, Johnny, everything looks good, Jane. I mean, hey, I don't understand what this means, or ooh, that's too small, or ooh, that's too big, or ooh, that's too confusing. Get someone to check it out. Fonts and size do matter. I mean, now y'all see I've got these on. So again, relevant, it needs to be read. So even if I keep this in a common sense type of thing, I'm going to get a piece of paper online or offline or whatever, and I'm going to have to put a couple of these on, or put some magnifying, because someone told you to stick it all on one page, and I'm going to squint, or it's so big, I'm like, what is their issue here? So size and fonts do matter. I'm that 12, 11, 10.5. It just depends on, again, the relevancy of the content that you're sharing on this document, right? So be careful with some of these fancy fonts, that really it's confusing. Remember, 8 seconds, right? 8 seconds. So when you have scripted, I mean, some of my creative people, right? Because y'all are creative people. I get it. And you got creative stuff, but you're working on a resume. You've got very creative resumes, and it can work depending on the relevance of what you're doing. It can work depending on where you're sending it. But at the end of the day, folks got to read it. If we can't see it, we can't read it, we're not calling you. It's just that simple. So don't be so fancy that I can't make heads or tails of what you're telling me. I don't know if you got it to go. I don't know if you're the kind of person we need in my organization based on skills, your knowledge, and your ability. So these are some fonts. They're not the albeit, but these are some that are, been around. They're okay. I mean, there's some legacy stuff here. But again, it's about reading. I got to be able to read it. And let's say folks are using automation, they got to be able to scan it, right? They got their AI. If it's all fancy cursive and all, can it does it know what you're saying? I don't know, right? So we've got it. So these are some safe bets, but there are others. And bottom line, if what you're doing is working, then keep working it. But I'm gonna tell you, a lot of times people just can't read what we've put out there, so they can't call you. What's up, Sylvia? I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. Remember, we're gonna do this like Mondays. Normally, I do it the first Monday, but y'all know it was a holiday, so I rested too. Now, this whole thing about the two-page thing, and I know some of you still, these are still important questions folks are asking, because again, a lot of you are working on it right now. Never more than 2 pages, except you see how I put except, because it all depends. But I am 99.8 on no more than 2 pages, right? 99.8. And the reason I'm saying that is that forces you to be brief for your brochure. Remember, I said, this is your brochure. You have 8 seconds. I need relevant information. I mean, it could, from the time you were born to this morning, you have relevant gifts, talents, and skills. You have to decide which one of those things from the day you were born to this morning needs to be on that brochure of yours. What things, what's going to help you to get that meeting, what's going to share not just the skill set you might have for whatever the job title. As we've learned during these 3 years of global change, it's more than just the skill for the job. There are other things you need to bring to the table, and we used to call them soft skills. I wish they would call them leadership skills. But your communication, right, your integrity, your flexibility, transferable skills that you've learned from something else. Like maybe you are going to be a coder, but are you a coder that can talk to people? Do coders talk to people? I think they still need to. How can you code and not have communication, right? So, there are other things about your character, how you get along, how you visionary, how you process. I mean, those are other skills that can still be on your resume if they're relevant to where you want to go. If you're going to be in administration or leadership, I mean, I don't think I need to know how much you coded. I mean, if you're going to be the administrator of the coders, yeah, you can code, but that's not, can you budget? Can you get the team? Can you get the team ready to go? Can you get them excited? Do you know about job coping and keeping skills? Do you know how to manage people? You get what I'm going? So in those cases, should those folks be more than 2 pages? Again, 99.8. And the only people I believe that can be more truly 100% are these folks. All the academia. I mean, if you're a professor, you're published, you're those think tank people, you're writing, these extensive, you're the brain power of us all. Absolutely. You are never going to have a 2-pager. Federal resumes, all of you that want to work for Uncle Sam, which is great, but a 2-page resume is not going to get you. It's not going to get you there. I mean, I'm not saying it ain't possible, but the federal government allows you to have up to 6 pages with a lot of information, but it still has to be relevant information. But for the rest of us, I really, 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 because I mean, you got to get it all into, and there's ways with designs, different types of designs, different types, how you use your language, writing in sound bites can get you there, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm still stuck on it's got to be 2 pages. Let's see. I had a comment here. Let me see what Carla has said. Yes, your resume is going through an applicant tracking system. Many of them do. Scanning for the keywords. If you have a loppy font, the system can mistake it for another character. It will. And let me even add, I'm glad Carla brought that up, because the key is, yes, we have these, technology is everywhere. It's helping us to screen. But how interesting that even we really put that in full swing during the global trauma that we're just coming out of 3 years. But we're also finding people are using eyes again too. Sometimes they're putting the eyes first and the trackers second, or the trackers first and then the eyes come up. So, but if you can't get through the scanning, you can't get through. So be careful. So that's why I said those fonts that are been around a little bit, they're a little legacy. I mean, I think what's not up here, like Times Roman, that's been used. I like Arial. I'm a big Arial fan. It just pops on the paper for me. But Georgia's kind of cool too, right? You see what I'm saying? But those fonts are all ones that you really, really can read. You can see it, right? So at the end of the day, right, what do you need to do as you're moving forward this month to get to gear? Like maybe you all are in great opportunities and maybe you're just exploring what's out there. So you want to update, you want to upgrade. Hopefully we'll see some new skill, professional development. You've really gotten your language into sound bites that work. That's wonderful. Those of you who are seeking a new opportunity, and if you've had some gaps, you definitely have to fill in the gaps. I know there was a little moment where, okay, gaps, we're giving some amnesty to gaps due to COVID and all that. Well, 3 years down the road, you need to tell us what you've done in those absences, right? Maybe you're training, maybe you volunteered, maybe you did something in the meantime that you can pull relevant, transferable skills out of it. So, in any event, if there are some gaps, you need to fill it. Every gap should have a reason, a why, right? But still, those of you looking, in our newsletter that we just put out last Friday, if you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, I definitely think you should. We have several. I mean, the summit will be coming up again in 2023, but we send out information with the data, and the new data came out last Friday. So there's 10.5 million jobs open, unfulfilled, unfulfilled. I keep saying unopened. That's not what I mean. Open jobs that are not filled, 10.5 million still. Even though we're in a strange place, we still have a pretty robust job market. So that's good news. That's good news. So, but before you get into those job markets, you've got to make sure your brochure is on point. Okay. So you guys submit some really great questions. So next month I will be here. So hit me up, send me your questions to info@tcenow.com. It'll really be interesting to see what's on your mind for the following month. And I'll kind of put those all together, pick my top 3, get the vibe, and we'll share our February Q&A on the first Monday of February. If you're not a subscriber to our channel right here, please do so to whatever platform you're enjoying us on, but definitely our YouTube. We definitely always up on YouTube, but subscribe and set your bell, ring that little bell and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our content. Well, I said I would do it in about 15 minutes, depending on how long you guys were, and I will go up to a half hour depending on the questions. So thank you, Carla and Sylvia, for your comments and your questions. I hope this was of value to you. Remember we're here, I'm your career engineer. You can find us everywhere. Don't get anxious on Facebook. And then we're at Career Engineer just about everywhere. You're going to get one TikTok out of me a month. Y'all are bending my arm about being there. I'm not that crazy about it, but I got a couple of TikToks up there. So I'm at Career Engineer just about everywhere else on the planet. And again, make sure you catch us on our radio show, radioshow.tce now, to be a part of us here. So listen, I thank you for allowing me to come and share some time with you. Those of you that missed me live, no worries. Catch the replay and put your comments in the comment area or hit me up on email if you have a comment or question. I want you guys to be blessed. Have a great week, and I look forward to talking with you next time. And remember, as always, don't get anxious. Always be prepared. Be blessed.